big month and big offseason for our next guest. Let's welcome in, fresh off signing a new 3-year deal. Oh, and tying the knot, Mason Appleton of the Winnipeg Jets. Mason, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Not a whole lot. Kind of just calming down after a crazy 10 days, but good to be married. Good to have that deal done and just enjoying it now.
Yeah, you've basically signed 2 very important deals over the last little while. We'll talk about the offseason and getting hitched and all that in a minute, but fill us in on how the deal came together, how you feel about signing it. 3 years with the Winnipeg Jets, a nice boost, and I'm sure for all parties involved, quite pleased to avoid the arbitration process.
Yeah, like you said right there, avoid arbitration. I think that was, both sides kind of wanted to get something done before it got to that, so we were kind of happy to get it done over the weekend. It's a process, obviously. You're kind of working against each other in a sense, but that's the nature of the business. And then, fortunately, last Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it heated up, and we were able to get it done. So, I think it's a deal that, I'm happy with. Obviously, it's a significant raise for me, and the term is something that is also important. Being in this city for 3 years, it's gonna be awesome. I think we got a lot of stuff to get done, but just on the contract side of it, I'm very happy that I'm locked up for 3 years here.
Just kind of putting this all into perspective. Last year we were on this program talking about the loss of you to the lineup, heading to the exciting new team in the Seattle Kraken, and I'm sure midway through last season, when things weren't going that well personally for the team, you fast forward till now, you're back with the Winnipeg Jets, a team that obviously, didn't want to lose you in the first place. And now with the new 3-year deal, it's been quite a year for you, but I imagine you're pretty excited about being where you are right now and having the certainty of your hockey future and life really for the next 3 years here in the Peg.
100%. Last year was an off season where it was nothing I've ever experienced. You didn't really know where you were headed, and that sucks. Like, I still had a contract in place, but I didn't know where I was playing, so it was different. And then when the expansion draft happened, obviously I was excited to be going there, but disappointed that I was leaving Winnipeg. So once again, it was kind of a mixed bag of feelings, and obviously the season was what it was. And at the deadline, Seattle unloaded 6-8 guys, and I happened to be one of them, and I was happy to come back to a team and city that I know and that I believe in. So, we didn't have the finish of the season that we wanted to. Obviously, a different year with coaching change and all of that. But I think we're very eager to prove what we believe we are. And, it's going to start real soon here.
Well, Mason Appleton of the Winnipeg Jets with us here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Speaking of last season, you weren't there for the majority of the year. You sort of came in late, hooked right back up with your old running mate, Adam Lowry. But when you think of, what you saw, what you heard from teammates at the end of the year, there's so much talent on this team. What do you think was missing last year? What do you hope will be different when you guys get going with a clean slate at the beginning of October?
Yeah, I think that's the part that everyone is kind of searching for, because you take the year prior where we go and sweep Edmonton, and then, we lose to the team that loses in the finals. You think you're knocking on the door, and then really the only, you lost me to start the year, but you gained some, good veteran NHL defensemen. So you kind of thought, damn, this is a team that's right there knocking on the door. And then you find yourself kind of on the outside looking in just after Christmas, and you're scratching your head thinking, what's wrong? Like, what's the answer here? And, sports, it's not an easy answer ever. There's a lot of gray in a lot of different areas. And I think, we've kind of all took this summer to reflect and, figure out who we are as a team, who we are as individuals, and, what more we can bring to the table collectively and on our own. So I think that we're all kind of in a spot where we're all eager to prove that there's more, because when you're not in the playoffs, it's a long summer and it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. So I think we're all really hungry to prove that this roster is built for the playoffs, and it is built for a run. And that last year was just a one-off, and it's not who we are as a hockey team.
Mason, the biggest change of the offseason is not as much on the ice, but it's behind the bench with Rick Bowness coming over from the Dallas Stars. I know we had him on the program. He's such a fun guy to talk to. He's got a great positive attitude. I'm just wondering how much you've had a chance to talk to the new head coach, and what were your first impressions, and what was that first convo like with Rick? What did he have to say about the direction going forward for you and your teammates?
Yeah, talked with him, kind of when he got hired, and then a little bit after I just signed. And he obviously seems like a very personable and nice guy. I've heard that a lot too. It's a small world, and you hear a lot about different players and coaches and that. But I haven't heard a bad word about him, which is unbelievable. And you can't be in this league for that long and not be a good guy. So you got to be a good coach and you got to be a good guy. And I think we have both in him. And he's not going to take this job if he didn't believe in this team. At his stage in his career, he wants to win, and he wants to win a Stanley Cup. And obviously he believes in the Winnipeg Jets, else he wouldn't be here right now. So I think that goes to show a lot about the team we have and how much he believes in us. And I think it's going to be great to have that fresh voice behind all of us, and achieving new things with him in charge. So I think we're all really excited to have him behind the bench.
Mason, it's interesting, and we've spoken over the years back when you were, cutting your teeth with the Manitoba Moose. I remember actually speaking with you, I think, on the day you got drafted in the 6th round. I mean, it's been a long and circuitous route, especially considering where you went last year. But, you're now an established National Hockey Leaguer. You've got a contract that's going to keep you here for the next 3 years. The team is also somewhat different right now. I mean, you're a more mature veteran player. You lose a guy like Andrew Kopp at the deadline. Paul Stastny's not back. Have you thought at all about the upcoming season and personal goals for yourself? I mean, is there an opportunity for you to, maybe play higher in the lineup? Is that something you aspire to do? Or is it a matter of doing whatever you can do to help this team do what the goal is every night, and that's get 2 points?
Yeah, it's cliche to say, you're going to do whatever it is to make the team, help the team win this and that. But that's true. And with that is when, the personal achievements jump, I believe. So, you have that team first mindset and that approach that you just want to be the best for the team and help win hockey games. And then that's when you see your minutes and numbers climb. And you can't go into a season saying, my goal is to play on the first line and score 40 goals, because there's only one way to measure that. And I don't believe in that. I think it's just that daily approach of being the best pro you can be and only comparing yourself to yourself, and, keeping that positive attitude and pushing forward through a long 82-game season. So, if I take care of that, that's when you see, a jump in your playing time, a jump in your production and things like that. But a lot can change throughout the season. You don't know where injuries are. There's just so much unknown that you can't get wrapped up in those types of things. Else you'll drive yourself nuts at night. So for me, it's just being the best version of myself and coming to work every single day with that right attitude and working my tail off. And then I'll kind of let the rest take care of itself.
The funny thing is, I mean, you say you can never count on anything. The one thing we really could count on is that 22 would be riding with 17. Tell us about playing with Adam Lowry. I mean, the connection you guys have had, and just your level of comfort coming back to playing consistently with Lowry at the end of last season, presumably in next, after all of the changes and the uncertainty of playing with a brand new expansion team.
Yeah. I love playing with Lowry. I think probably my last 80 games, I've been on his wing for probably 78 of the 80. So he's a hell of a player, and he's a guy that, his teammates love him, and he can play at every end of the ice. He's a guy who can, win that draw at the last minute of a game, either in the O zone or the D zone. And, he's a guy you count on in the room as well. I can't say enough good things about Adam. He's one of my best buddies, and I love going to war with him. So, playing on his wing it's a good thing, and it gives you a lot of responsibility too. But I have a blast playing with him. I think we read off each other really well. Both kind of just play a little more of a simple north-south game, get pucks to the net, score greasy goals, and then defend our butts off. So I think that's kind of our MO, and that's who we are as a line when we're playing together. So, I look forward to hopefully keeping that rolling.
Chatting with Mason Appleton, fresh off signing a new three-year deal with the Winnipeg Jets here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. By the way, gang, if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button. We are just about at 8,000 subscribers. Would love to get there in time for the marble race tomorrow. So if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button, and let's get to that number. So, Mason, we're talking about the contract in next year, but that wasn't. Hopefully, you signed longer than a 3-year deal. A little while. Tell us about the big life changes and getting married, where you did it, and how it all went.
That was really good. We were up at our family lake house in northern Wisconsin, kind of in the middle of nowhere, honestly. It's a decent sized lake, but only 8-10 cabins on the lake, so it's pretty secluded. I know a lot of the guys, I'm sure when they were driving in, they're thinking, where the hell am I going right now? But it was a really special day. Weather was great. We had a tent basically on the beach on the water, so you couldn't have dreamed of better. And it was a surreal night. There's a pic right there. But I'm excited for our future and hopefully settling down in Winnipeg. So can't say enough good things about that day. It was a dream come true.
Okay, I have to ask you, any of the fellas, the teammates come out, and how were they well behaved? Was anyone with the shirt off and the tie wrapped around their head at the reception? I mean, fill us in. Take us behind the scenes.
Yeah, there was certainly some of those, myself included. We get feeding off each other, and then we get going for a little bit. But nobody too bad, which was good. You never want to be that guy that's too hammered at a wedding. But I'm sure we all overserved ourselves just the right amount. It was good.
Now, your wife, you of course are a Green Bay native. We've talked many times about growing up. I mean, it's religion there. Yeah. Is your new wife a cheesehead as well?
She is, and I don't know if I could marry someone that was a fan of any other team. So thank God she's a Packer fan as well.
That's the old thing. She's 10, but she's a Vikings fan.
Yeah, that's 0.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone over. That wouldn't gone over very well. So listen, it's been a crazy last couple of weeks for you. Fill us in. What's up for you for the rest of August as you prepare to come back and hopefully get off to a great start with the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, I think you really buckled down the training now. I'll probably be heading back to Winnipeg in just over a month. So. Yeah, it's go time here. You're on the ice 3-4 days a week, and you're in the gym 5 days a week. So it's doing everything you can to get your body and mind wrapped around starting the season. So a lot of hard work in this next month, and going to come to camp in great shape, and you're ready to work hard.
I imagine from a life perspective, especially knowing you've got the contract done, you've signed the most important deal with your new wife, and you're coming back to Winnipeg. Probably a very different comfort level as to where you are right now than all the uncertainty that you had heading over to the West Coast last season around this time.
Yeah, completely different feel. It's a great time right now for me and for my wife. And I think, having that contract certainty too is massive. Hopefully maybe buy a house here in the next month or two. And, you don't got to live out of a suitcase and rent places, hopefully, anymore. So we're excited for that as well. Going to Seattle was certainly an experience, some good, some bad, but happy to be on a 3-year deal here and really happy to be back in Winnipeg.
Okay. We can't have you with us without looking ahead to the football season. What's the vibe in Wisconsin about the Packers? 12 is back. And will you dress up like Nick Cage for the first day of training camp, like Aaron Rodgers did going to Lambeau this year? What was that?
I know that's Rodgers. He likes to do that type of stuff. The vibe's good. You lose 17, your best offensive weapon, and that hurts. But I think the draft they went out and got some guys that can, make plays offensively, and then you had Sammy Watkins. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and get back to his his form where he's an elite receiver in this league. But I think when you got 12 under center, you can win about any football game. You always got a great chance. And the defense has even gotten better. A lot of those younger guys who were playing big minutes, they just got that experience where the D is going to be even better this year. I think it's a top 3 defense in football. And then, like I said, anytime you got Aaron Rodgers under center, you got a chance to win. So, like where we're at again, it's kind of got to get over that hump in the playoffs. And, I expect it to be, a 12-win team again. So it should be a good year.
Now that Davante Adams is gone, yeah, there's the picture of Rodgers and Nick Cage, just an ultimate arrival from one of the all-time greats. With Adams gone, what receivers from the Packers should we be targeting in fantasy when we get to our drafts? Is it Lazard or is it Watson, the kid from Fargo?
I think Lazard is going to be a legit number one. He's got you always talk about how when a young backup quarterback gets to sit behind Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre for a couple of years and learn. I think that's the same with a Lazard and sitting behind Davante and even learning from a Randall Cobb. There's just so much knowledge that he can take in. And Lazard's also he's been a guy that's done a lot of the dirty work for the Packers too. A lot of, big blocks on bubble screens. He's always working his tail off. He doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes. And I think this year he's going to get a lot more touches and, his production could certainly go up.
Hey, by the way, what's the status of the Winnipeg Jets Fantasy Football League? Wasn't Kopp the commissioner before? I mean, where are things at? You guys better get that league and that draft set up.
I know. I think we were just in a group chat all pinning it on each other to be the commissioner because I don't know if anyone wants to do it, but don't worry, we'll get the league going.
Yeah, just don't end up like Jock Peterson with Tommy Pham. I don't know if you got that earlier this year. One of the more infamous fantasy incidents of all time, and it just happened to be involving Major League Baseball players. Mason Appleton's with us. Hey, just on the way out, have you been to any Bomber games? Have you paid attention to all of what's going on? 9-0 right now, looking to go 10-0 tomorrow night.
That's unreal. Yeah, I was just reading some tweets about them last night. I did not know they were 9-0, but I have been to a couple too. That's unreal. Obviously, they've been so good for the last little stretch here. It's crazy to keep a team together like that and keep winning. So good on them.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you and your teammates at camp and maybe out at a game before we drop the puck. Congratulations on the nuptials. Congrats on the new 3-year deal, Mason. And I can't wait to see you and your teammates get after it come September in training camp here in the Peg.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.